This might surprise you, but we're actually coming up on almost an entire year of Cody Rhodes being your WWE Undisputed Champion. And I say that it might surprise you because in this nearly 365-day stretch of Cody Rhodes being Undisputed Champion, he hasn't really defended the championship that many times. He defends the championship every single house show, but when it comes to PLEs or episodes of Raw or SmackDown, there's not very many championship matches to go off of. So in today's video, I decided to collect all of the championship defenses that Cody Rhodes has had ever since winning the championship in that epic WrestleMania 40 main event, and we're going to be tier ranking those championship defenses from Hall of Fame all the way down to trash. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know that you're going to fall in love with this YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. Also, could it please stop snowing? I've been shoveling for days. It won't stop. Anyways, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZap. Let's start the video now. All right, so before we fully dive into this, let me just show you the different tiers that we have for this video. So at the very top, we have the Hall of Fame tier. This is reserved for the absolute best of the best that Cody Rhodes WWE Championship match defenses have to offer. To get into this tier, you genuinely need to be an unforgettable legendary match. And then we work our way down. We have the great category, good, meh, and then at the very bottom, we have trash. Trash is where the absolute worst of the worst belongs. This is a match that you would never want to rewatch ever again. Hell, you feel bad that you even had to watch it in the first place. Those are the types of matches that belong into the trash category. So now that we have explained all of the different tiers, let's actually tier rank all of these matches. Now for this, we're also going to go in chronological order. So we're going to go in the order that these matches actually happened throughout the timeline of Cody Rhodes championship defenses. And one of the things that you're going to notice is that there's not that many. I was shocked because I'm obviously not counting house show matches. I'm counting matches that happened on WWE TV or on WWE Premium Live events, and there aren't very many, sadly. So let's start off with the Backlash France classic between Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles, and there is a lot to unpack here. First and foremost, the atmosphere, the crowd. If this match was bad, the crowd would have saved it. The crowd would have made this an unforgettable affair, because to me, atmosphere is almost everything. I do believe that obviously the stuff that happens in the ring is incredibly important, but if the crowd is dead quiet for an excellent match, that excellent match is not going to feel as excellent as it otherwise should. But this crowd was electric from beginning to end. The singing, the chanting, they made AJ Styles feel like the second coming of Jesus Christ. They made Cody Rhodes feel like the biggest star that this industry had ever seen. They were loud for everything, the most mundane of punches, the simplest of two kickouts, and of course, the dance and singing that they had for AJ Styles is something that I will never, ever forget. It is tattooed in my brain just how awesome that crowd was. Here's the thing, not only was the crowd awesome, this match to me is perfection. Out of all of the matches that we're looking on here, in terms of technicality, like in terms of the actual in-ring work, in my opinion, this is the best Cody Rhodes match that I've ever personally seen. It genuinely is. Was the story maybe not the greatest going into it? Sure, they didn't have too much time to develop a great, unbelievably forgettable story off the back of WrestleMania 40 into this first championship defense for Cody Rhodes, but the match in itself was just so damn good, so technically proficient, so crisp. Every single one of these guys looked like a gazillion dollars in this match. I have no choice but to put the very first one into Hall of Fame. When it comes to an unforgettable match, I said that to get into this tier, you need to be something that has to be memorable and stand the test of time. It doesn't get about as memorable and as unforgettable as Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles. This match bangs. A lot of people forgot that the follow-up to Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles part 1 wasn't part 2. It was actually Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul at King and Queen of the Ring in late May in Saudi Arabia. Now, was the Saudi Arabian crowd anywhere near as good as the Backlash France crowd? No. No crowd ever has been anywhere near as good as that Backlash France crowd, but the Saudi crowd, in my opinion, brought it. I remember saying, like, this seemed to me to be the rowdiest Saudi crowd that we've gotten so far. This was the Saudi crowd that made me believe that they get it. They understand what crowds are supposed to be like, because they made a tremendous amount of noise throughout the entire show and for this match as well. And unlike AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes, they actually had a bit more time to actually develop a story into this match, and I was actually kind of hooked. Not that I ever ever thought that Logan Paul was ever going to realistically beat Cody Rhodes, but they told an interesting tale nonetheless. To me, what helped me with this match was how good it was. It was shocking to see how good of chemistry Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul have. And honestly, at this point, I don't know why I'm surprised anytime there's a good Logan Paul match, because every single time he has a match, he delivers an excellent affair. It was incredibly athletic. It might be devoid of drama because nobody was particularly believing that Logan Paul was ever going to win this, but they did pull out a pretty nasty vertebraker in this match as well. So overall, when I look at the entire package that was Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul, I was thoroughly entertained, although again, I will say that I was never really in for the narrative. I never truly believed that Cody Rhodes was ever in any danger, so I was really just there for the showcase of athleticism and entertainment. So I will put Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul, just the entire package, I will say good. If I was only looking at the in-ring, it might dip into great, but when I look at everything, I'm gonna go good. That's as high as I can go for this. Now let's look at Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles Part 2 in an I Quit match at Clash at the Castle. Now this match doesn't get anywhere near as much love as the Backlash France match, and understandably so. It's not as good from an in-ring perspective, it's not as exciting. However, there was a much better story going into this than by far their original match at Backlash France, with the fake retirement angle, with AJ Styles full-blown turning heel on Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes kind of giving us a little bit of a taste of what that Cody lander that so many of us have been wanting to see during this match. So from a story perspective, from a narrative, I was fully bought in, and it really delivered an excellent story and many great memorable story beats on the lead up to this match. And the match stipulation, although I feel kind of hurts the notion that Cody Rhodes could lose, it really took away a lot of the drama, because in no world was Cody Rhodes ever gonna say I quit. It's freaking Cody Rhodes, for God's sake. I do believe that it helped elevate the brutality that this match desperately needed because of the great story, the really personal story that was being told along the way. Although it wasn't as crisp and as beautifully proficient as their Backlash France match, it did have a level of brutality and a level of personal anguish that Backlash France match didn't quite have. In my opinion, had AJ Styles threatened Mama Rhodes to make Cody Rhodes say I quit, that would have been like the cherry on top. But overall, with the brutality of this match, seeing Cody Rhodes go into a place that you never thought he would go into, where he was like dipping into the waters of being a heel, was incredibly entertaining. And obviously AJ Styles is just so damn good at his job. It doesn't get talked about enough. It might not hit Hall of Fame levels like their original match, but this match was fantastic. I'm gonna put it into the great category. Next up, let's dive back into the never-ending vortex of Cody Rhodes versus the Bloodline, and let's look at Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa Part 1. This match sucked. I really didn't enjoy this match. Now, I have a bit of a unique perspective in that I actually haven't seen this match on TV yet. I've only ever seen it when I was in the arena. I was in the 8th row hard cam side, so I had great seats for this entire show, and this show was fantastic. Unfortunately, I felt like the main event of Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa was not very good. Here's the thing, this match will be seen with a better light. I feel like people are going to have rose-tinted glasses for this match, but it wasn't because of the match. It was because of the return of Roman Reigns. Does that add to the match? Is that part of the match? Absolutely. But that's the entire thing that we were all waiting for, and that was the climax of this match. There was not much to this when it comes to the actual in-ring. It was slow. It was very, very sloppy, especially in the first like 20 minutes. It overstayed its welcome. Let's not forget that this was a significantly worse version of Bloodline Rules. This was a Bloodline Rules match that never even so much as hit 1% of the insane caliber of a Bloodline Rules match that we were already trained to expect out of WrestleMania 40. Is it my fault to expect something anywhere akin to close to the WrestleMania 40 Bloodline Rules match? Yeah, probably. Maybe just don't call it Bloodline Rules match next time. But the interferences and just how crazy it got, it wasn't very exciting. Seeing Kevin Owens and Randy Orton go out there, and then the Tongans and Jacob Fatu. Like the Jacob Fatu interference was insane, with the insane jump from the top rope to the table on the outside. But that's kind of like the only exciting portion of the match that didn't involve Roman Reigns. That like 3-minute span with everybody getting involved, sure, that was exciting, but the actual Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa like 25-minute aspect of the match was not good. Roman coming out was exciting. That was great. We got the payoff that we were waiting for, but to me, this is about as meh as it gets. I didn't think it was very good. Here's the thing, I'm not just hating on Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes because their next match was actually pretty good. We're talking about the debut of Friday Night SmackDown on the USA Network Championship match between Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa in a cage match. So this was everything that the SummerSlam match was lacking. This had great offense, great brutality. The cage, they actually used like pretty much throughout the entirety of the match as a solid weapon. The cage felt like a looming character that could be used as brutality by either Cody or Solo. They really were creative with the use of their surroundings in this match. This was also, in my humble opinion, Solo Sikoa's best match of his entire career. Not best singles match, best everything. The best match that he has had was right here against Cody Rhodes in this cage match. And even though I'm here praising it as Solo Sikoa's best match of his entire career, it still doesn't come anywhere near as close to the insane matches that Cody had against AJ Styles or even Logan Paul. But now that the ever-looming presence of Roman Reigns was over and done with, right? Like we already had the return, this match had nothing to lie back on. It had to just rely on it being a good match, and to its credit, I really believe that it delivered in that sense. So I'm going to put this into the good category. The more that I think about all of this, just the Solo Sikoa and Cody Rhodes feud, just it never landed with me. It really just didn't. And I don't think it landed with a lot of you either. And I don't think that it landed with many of us because it just was always about waiting for Roman Reigns. It was never about could Solo actually beat Cody. It was just about waiting for Roman to come back to confront Solo. And I feel like that's what makes this entire feud feel like this like filler anime arc. Dude, I cannot believe he wrestled with that. Oh my God. NXT. Oh my God. Okay, that's insane. Nah, man, that's way too high. Oh. Good God. Dude, I forgot how nasty that was, actually. That was a sneak peek of this week's Wrestling is Cool Match Club, available exclusively over on patreon.com/SantiZap. This week, we're looking at Torn Pec Cody Rhodes going up against Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell 2022. The amazing Ruthless Aggression triple threat match between The Undertaker, The Rock, and Kurt Angle at Vengeance 2002. A Ring of Honor classic between Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, and Tyler Black, aka Seth Rollins, back in 2008. The real-life grudge match that involves affairs and whatnot between Matt Hardy and Edge at Unforgiven 2005 in a steel cage. And the Payback 2023 classic between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Judgment Day in a Steel City street fight. You're going to be getting this and more, like the Raw reviews, the SmackDown reviews, the Wrestling is Cool podcast 3 days earlier than everywhere else, the currently ongoing Undertaker WrestleMania match watch along, and the currently ongoing Royal Rumble match watch along as well. These are all pieces of content that we can never upload here to YouTube because of YouTube's copyright guidelines, making it just simply impossible for us to ever make it available here. So please go check it out, patreon.com/SantiZap. I'm confident that if you try it even for just 1 month, that you're going to fall in love with the insane amounts of content that we upload there every single day. If you're already a patron, thank you so much for your support, but let's get you back to the video. But folks, let's now dive into the Kevin Owens trilogy, and let's start off with Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens at Bash in Berlin. By the way, I understand that the Bash in Berlin match technically actually happened before the cage match, but things got confusing there with the cage match, so I'm just going to do the Kevin Owens trilogy together here. As a follow-up to a SummerSlam match, this was great. However, when you go back and look at the calendar year, there were like 3 weeks between SummerSlam and Bash in Berlin. So this is actually a very similar situation to the build-up, or lack thereof of build-up, between Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles going into their first Backlash match, and now we have a very similar situation in Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens in Bash in Berlin. It was a very rushed story, but it was a very simple one. Could Kevin Owens tap into that dark side of his and take advantage of any sort of negative situation to pick up the victory? We were all waiting on the massive Kevin Owens heel turn, and they kept teasing it in the lead up to Bash in Berlin, to the point that we all thought it was going to happen at Bash in Berlin. What we got was an excellent match by all accounts. It really, really was. It got a little bit convoluted there at the end with Kevin Owens not being being able to take advantage of the fact that Cody Rhodes' knee buckled under him, and he refused to take advantage of that to pick up the win, and that was his downfall and allowed Cody Rhodes to beat him. And that's kind of what set everything up for this Kevin Owens fantastic heel turn and run that he's currently on. So the match was actually really good. The crowd was really into it. The dynamics of Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes from an in-ring perspective and from the narrative that they were telling was great as well. I really bought into their relationship. The only thing is that the lead up to Bash in Berlin was incredibly rushed. But that doesn't change the fact that I thought that this was a really, really good match. I'm going to put this into good. Now let's talk about Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens at Saturday night's main event. And by the way, this happened in December, which means that Cody Rhodes didn't defend his championship for the majority of September, all of October, all of November, and half of December. That was a gruesome stretch for Cody Rhodes to not defend his WWE Undisputed Championship because he was busy with Crown Jewel. He was busy doing nothing for War Games. He was busy teaming up with Roman Reigns for some reason at Bad Blood. But finally, at the end of the year, we got him defending his championship again. And what we now know is just a glorified ass house show in Saturday night's main event. Here's the thing. The build up to this, oh my God, was this ever good? The build up to this is what made everyone believe that Saturday night's main event is something that you can't miss. That Saturday night's main event is canon. If you miss Saturday night's main event, you're screwed. You have to watch this show because we had Kevin Owens fully turning heel, taking out Randy Orton with the pile driver. We had the fantastic set of promos between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens doing his promos from the Burger King parking lot, just being so good, and a weirdly sympathetic heel where he made me believe that he was in the right. So the build up to this might be, out of all of the matches that we have here, the best build up out of all of them. Unfortunately, the match was very simple and very safe. It was like a neutered version of their great technical match at Bash in Berlin. And the finish was really convoluted with the chair and Charles Robinson being on the outside and Cody Rhodes then using the chair introduced by Kevin Owens, once again setting up the fact that now Kevin Owens is not able to beat Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes takes advantage and does something heely to beat Kevin Owens. Funny enough, the most memorable thing from this match is the post-match angle, something that they didn't even air on television, with the package pile driver that was kind of no-sold by Cody Rhodes in the grand scheme of things, especially when you compare it to, how long Randy Orton has been out. I understand Randy Orton has a history of neck problems, so it's easier for us to believe that he's out for a really, really long time. But bro, Cody was up within 2 days. So overall, I'm gonna put this still in good. I think on the good scale, it's significantly not as good as the three ahead of it, like the match against Solo in the cage match, the match against Logan Paul, and the previous match against Kevin Owens at Bash in Berlin. This is good minus, but I don't want to put it in meh because I just don't think it belongs in the same breath as Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. And now let's talk about the final match on here, the most recent match of Cody Rhodes' championship defenses, that being the ladder match at the Royal Rumble against Kevin Owens again. So I don't really feel like I need to talk too much in terms of the buildup of this match because it's just off the backs of the already red hot fantastic feud that was Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes. It was already fantastic going into Saturday night's main event, and it just kept getting better and better and better in the lead up to the Royal Rumble. This was, in all honesty, the match I was the most excited for going into the Royal Rumble, and holy shit did this match deliver. I love this match because it was a different type of ladder match. Normally, when you look at ladder matches, the big oohs and ahs come in the form of verticality, doing shit off of the top of the ladder, jumping off the ladder, moves off the ladder. They didn't do any of that. There was no verticality in this match. Instead, it was more like a street fight where the weapons just happened to be ladders, and it made it so much more gruesome and so much more personal to see these guys trying to use the ladders in unique ways to cause as much pain to the other person as possible, as opposed to just using the ladder as a vehicle to grab the titles. Because when you go back and watch this match, there's so little of the both of them trying to climb and stopping the other one from climbing. There's none of that. And that's a very rare thing in ladder matches. So I go back and say this was just a street fight with ladders where when you finally knock out your opponent, then you can just freely climb. But the insane back bumps on the corner of ladders. Let's not forget the crazy package, like superplex that Kevin Owens does onto the ladder. Of course, the insane Alabama slam from the table through the ladder where Kevin Owens basically lands head first. There are so many insane, violent spots in this match that are going to live rent-free in my head for years to come. It's currently my favorite match of the year. Crowd, well, it's Indianapolis. They kind of just sucked ass for everything and everyone that entire night, so I'm not going to hold this against this match. I feel like this is a Hall of Fame match, although it's different in terms of like what it offers from the AJ Styles match, but to me, this is one of the best ladder matches that I've ever seen, and just an unbelievably good match that I have a hard time seeing how any other main roster match this year is going to be better than that. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Goodbye. Get out of here.